Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope everything is wonderful. Everything here is great. And we're going to continue the Q&A. I'm going to start with John White, since he asked a question I have. I've already gotten to Carl and Jonathan. John White asks about my history of pets, sea monkeys, goldfish, etc., and did I like them? I have always had some sort of pet, I believe, my entire life. My parents have basically always had a dog of some form, maybe with a couple of year break here and there. And then we definitely had a dog when I was born. I don't know that we had a pet for a little while there. And then when I was like 7 or 8, we got a cat. And that cat died when I was in the Marine Corps. So that cat was like my best friend. Her name was Tinker. I guess while I was in the Marines, I did not have pets. But so we had, I think, maybe 3 dogs in my lifetime at my parents' house and a cat. I don't know that I never really had other pets there. I wasn't allowed to have goldfish or sea monkey. Like anything that needed to be taken care of, I was not allowed to have. My aunt bought me a newt one time, and I kept it at her house because I went to her house after school. My mom wouldn't let me bring it home. My neighbor cuts grass like every freaking day. It's really annoying. My mom wouldn't let me bring the newt home, so it stayed at my aunt's house. And other than that, though, like if I went to a carnival and won a goldfish, I wasn't allowed to keep it. Like that wasn't a thing. That might be. No, I had a couple of goldfish at my aunt's house for sure. I remember having them there and flushing them when they died, because they always died. But I wasn't allowed to have them at my house. When I was in the Marines, I didn't have pets, and then when I got out of the Marines, I didn't have a pet for a while until I met my kid's mom, and then we had a dog for a little while, but we were never home, and we just couldn't train it, and it just destroyed everything, so we got rid of it. And then we moved into our first house, and there we had cats. And so I think we had probably 2 or 3 cats. And then ever since then, we've always had something. My kids have always had pets. They've had cats and gerbils and not groundhogs. What are the little hamsters and miniature hamsters and fish and dogs and lizards and just literally anything I could possibly want. And so at currently at this house, I have a dog. That's it. You've met him before. His name is DJ. He was supposed to be my kid's dog, like a therapy dog for her, but he adopted me, and he's been my best friend ever since. And that's it. Yeah. I haven't. Since him, we had a couple other dogs. When they moved out, I made them take the one with him because he was terrible. The other one I couldn't handle. I got rid of him, and I'm just down to this one dog. And when he goes, that's it. My kids have had cats at their mom's house, hamsters, dogs, like everything possible. They had one cat that came over here pretty frequently when they came, and my allergies I couldn't deal with it anymore, so I didn't allow the cat back in the house, and I don't plan on ever allowing cats back in the house. I absolutely love cats. If I were to have my choice of a pet, it would be a cat, but my allergies, I developed allergies in my mid-30s. I can't be around them. I get eye infections from whatever. Like my eyes get all itchy, and then I end up getting an eye infection. So no, I've never had sea monkeys. I've never really had fish. I've always kind of wanted a nice fish tank, but they're a lot of work, and I'm not really willing to put that into it. So maybe someday when I'm like super rich and I can have somebody take care of my saltwater fish tank or something, I'll have some fish. But I think DJ is probably going to be my last pet for a long time. A long time. I don't really plan on finding more pets or bringing more animals into the house. I wanted to answer Carl's question because I really like this question. If I could travel back in time for 1 hour, where or when do I go? I would love to see pre-Victorian England, whatever that might mean. I'm probably like late 1700s. I'm really curious about that time period because it seems so modern. It seems like we had really understood building construction. We had, tall brick buildings. We had paper money and coin. We had contracts. We had a law system. We had basically everything that we have today, minus the electricity part. And I'm really curious to know what life was like at that point. We like to think here in America in the 1700s, it was still very much a struggle, right? Unless you lived in like Boston or New York where everything was imported for you. If you lived anywhere else, it was like a constant struggle to stay alive. Like you had to grow food and figure out how to eat. But I would love to step back into that time period in England just to see what life was like. How close to modern times was it? Was everybody just going about life like we do today, kind of aloof to the struggles of the world, or was it really difficult? It seems like they had plenty of leisure time and leisure activities and lots of things to do, but maybe that was just for the super wealthy. So I would be really curious about that. I think that's just like for a personal, like that's the extent of I know my family's lineage to the like late 1600s, early 1700s, that time period. And I would like to just see how they lived, right? What was it like? What was it really like? Yeah. That's an interesting question. And it's something to think about at least. Obviously I'd love to see dinosaurs. I'm curious, I think anybody could say, I want to know what dinosaurs actually looked like. The problem is, what we think of as the dinosaur era was millions of years, and those dinosaurs didn't live together. It's not like, you couldn't see, I don't know their names specifically, but like say for instance the Triceratops and the Tyrannosaurus Rex didn't live in the same time frame, so you wouldn't. But I just want to see, were they really birds? Did they really just look like birds, and we're just making them out to be some lizard thing? Like, I have a feeling it's probably more true than not. But so there's that sort of stuff. I'd also like to see ancient Rome, for the same reason I'd like to see pre-Victorian England. I'd like to see ancient Rome and just how casual life was or wasn't. Was it a casual lifestyle? Was it like a what we think of today as a modern society, just without the technology? I don't know. That kind of stuff makes me super curious. So there you go. You know what? Thank you guys for the questions this week. I really appreciate that. I might tackle some of these next week, or I might save them up and do another, series of question and answer type things, because I really enjoy this type of stuff. So again, thank you everybody who interacts with me on a regular basis. It really means the world to me that I have good friends that live out there, and I get to spend time with you on a daily basis. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is metachromasis. It is a noun meaning the phenomenon of different substances becoming different colors and shades when stained by the same dye. An identical cotton blend was used in the entire lot of shirts to avoid metachromasis ruining the color. Metachromasis. Metachromasis. The pronouncing key says masis, but I would pronounce that metachromasis. Maybe I'm completely wrong, or maybe this person's British. I don't know. But that's really interesting. Now I want to go look up what metachromasis, how that works.